walk by. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're going to be starting with the clean face, and we're going to start by priming our face with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. So now that we've got that all rubbed in and pat in and it's a little bit tacky, we're going to go in with our NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Tahoe. So I'm going to go ahead and spread it around and also blend it out with my Ulta Beauty sponge. My sponge is also dry. Here lately I've been liking to use a dry sponge rather than a wet sponge. I feel like it applies my makeup better and it doesn't soak up any foundation. So if your foundation is probably full coverage, it's going to actually give you that full coverage instead of soaking up some excess foundation off. That's just my preference. If you prefer to wet your sponge, go right ahead and do so. So now we're going to go in with our concealer, and this is the Cover FX Power Play Concealer in the shade G Medium 2. I really like this concealer. It has like a very creamy consistency, and a little bit goes a long way, but you know me, I'm extra and I add a little bit over a little. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out with the same sponge I used to blend out my foundation. So after we're done blending that concealer out, I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Veil setting powder in translucent, and I'm going to set those areas that I put the concealer in. And for my translucent powder, I like to use a brush. I feel like for me it applies more evenly and I don't like overdo it with like a sponge or a wet sponge or anything like that. So I prefer to use a brush on this part of my routine. And I'm also gonna set this powder around my mouth area because that's where I usually get creases. Yeah, I really like this translucent powder. I stopped using the Laura Mercier satin powder because it was a little too dry for my skin, and this one kind of gives like a more natural finish and it doesn't look so dry, and it doesn't feel dry on the face either. And you guys know the drill. This is my Sephora Micro Smooth powder, and I'm going to use this to set the rest of my face. This is in the shade Matte Tan. And yeah, this is my favorite powder. Once I got it, I haven't went to anything else. So yeah, I usually, when I set my face with this powder, I also go over the places that I set with the translucent powder just so it's not too ashy looking. So yeah. So today I'm going to be using my Mario Badescu spray. This is the orange one. I guess you would call it the orange blossom one. And this step is just to, make sure that everything blends out together very well. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my sponge to pat everything in after I let it dry a little bit. But I usually use my Urban Decay priming spray. But today I just wanted to switch it up. So now I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Matte Perfection powder in Mocha Java, and this is by Sephora. I'm going to use this as like a contouring shade, and I only put it like on my cheek area because that's really all where I feel like I need it. yeah, I just use this because I like to layer my bronzer and my contour shades. I feel like it just gives your face more dimension. So now I'm going to go in with one of my faves, the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer, and this is in the shade Caramel Cutie. I absolutely love bronzing, and I absolutely love this bronzer. So yeah, I'm just going to be using my Becca Kabuki brush just in circular motions to make sure that it gets on there the way that I like it. And I don't really like harsh like bronzer, like too sharp, but I will like clean it up a little bit along the jawline. But yeah, I love this bronzer so much. So now that I'm all finished up bronzing my face, I'm going to go back in with that Hourglass translucent powder. And like I said before, just clean it up just a little bit along the jawline. Nothing too sharp, but just enough to like that it doesn't look all messy like closer to my mouth. So while that's sitting there, I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose with the same bronzer that I used to bronze my face. And I know a lot of people don't really like to use like bronzer to contour their nose, but to me it would just make sense to, since like you already have that shade on your cheeks and your forehead. To me it just like brings it together when you use your bronzer. And honestly, I just don't like too harsh of a nose contour because me personally, I feel like I don't need it anyway. I just like it because it makes everything come together and makes me look snatched. So after dusting off that powder and finishing my nose contour, I'm going to go in with the Sephora Spice Market blush palette, and I'm going to just use that purpley pinkish shade. All of these blushes kind of have a little bit of shimmer to it. None of it is matte. But yeah, I really like actually all these shades in this palette. It's good for summer also, but clearly it has spice for the fall, so it's perfect for this look. But yeah, now I'm just setting my face with my Morphe continuous setting mist, and I really like this spray too. It doesn't feel too heavy and it doesn't feel really drying, but it actually holds your makeup in place. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let that sit, and where I had the powder, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out a little bit. I know it looks a little ashy. I accidentally used the other side. I didn't show that in there though, but that's why. And I know it looks a little hard, so I'm just cleaning it up a little bit with the brush that I use for my bronzer. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner, and this is the NYX Veil liquid eyeliner. It's not matte. I think it has like a satin finish. Yeah, so it's a little shiny. I wish I had matte, but honestly, I feel like matte wouldn't look good on me. But yeah, so now I'm just doing the cat eye. Now that I perfected my cat eye, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Bad Girl Bang mascara, and I'm just going to put that on my top lashes. And now I'm going in with my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit, and I'm just going to put some moles that got covered up with my foundation. I'm just going to put those back on my nose and add a few like on my cheek and I guess like my lip area. But usually anytime that I'm placing this on like a freckle or anything, unless it's faux freckles, I'm usually placing it on a real mole that I have, just so like people aren't like, oh, that's too many fake moles. Like those moles are actually really there this time on my face. Again, so if I'm not doing like faux freckles, I'm usually placing this powder on like a mole that I already have. So now that I'm finishing up these molds, I'm going to go ahead and go to my lash book, the Celeste Los Angeles one, and I'm going to use the style Boo. I did do it off camera just because it was easier for me, but now I'm going to go and line my lips with this NYX Lingerie Lippy in the shade Beauty Mark. This was like one of the first lippies that I ever bought, the shade, and it's been my favorite ever since. So yeah, I'm just gonna outline like the outer part of my lips with this lippy. So now I'm going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipstick in the shade Honey, and I'm going to place that on the inside of my lips, right, you know, like where I didn't place the liquid lipstick, you know, and I'm just going to blend that out so it's not like super harsh lines, you know, just make it look real nice and crisp. So now we're going to move on to brows. I don't really do much to my brows, so that's why I can like wait till the end to actually do them. Now that they're like grown out and bushy and unruly, I usually just spoolie them, and I use the same little brow kit that I use to put my moles on, and I just like create some like feather like strokes and kind of like make them a little darker because I have like thin brow hairs, so they're not very like, I guess you would say like pigmented, I guess. Is that the right word? I don't know. But yeah, so they're not very like dark. They're very like fine. So I'm just using this powder to make them darker. And I know I put some very harsh lines there at the front, but don't worry because I'm going to spoolie them out and they're going to look okay. So now I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel just to set them in place. And I like to fan my brows up because, I don't know, I've been really liking these feathery, I guess you could say like high fashion eyebrows. And yeah, I feel like ever since I got them threaded, like it's been working for me. But yeah, so now I'm going to go in with some highlighter, and this is the Bobbi Brown highlighter in Moon Glow. And I really love this highlighter because it doesn't like leave like that unblended look, you know, when you place it on there. Like it looks very luminous. I just love it so much. It's literally my go-to highlighter now. But it is more on the expensive side. So my other favorite highlighter, like that's, I guess you could say, is least expensive, is the Anastasia palette, the Sun Dipped palette, and my favorite shade is Summer. Not because it's named after my best friend, but because it's like a gold. I'm very attracted to like the really shimmery golds. So yeah. So this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.